Please don't.
Oh, I stopped! Why did I stop? No! Oh my god, I thought I was gonna bump the ball and I just stopped. Oh, I'm so mad. No! Alright.
Yes.
Plenty of game left. Season 2 is deep in effect. Today I am with one of the most special guests that has ever been on Rocket League Decision Making.
Stop.
She is one of the pinnacle Twitch streamers, an incredible ones player, and she just hit one of the most amazing wall-to-air dribble shots I've ever seen in my entire life.
Please.
Champ 2, over 2,500 hours played, and just one of the nicest all-around people I've ever met in my entire life. Neato Queen, how are you?
I'm good, SwasAye. Thank you so much for having me, dude. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Let's jump into some questions.
Sounds good.
Number 1, and I might have given it away, but what type of game mode do you prefer? 1s, 2s, 3s, anything different?
Yeah, I'm definitely a ones player. I didn't think for a long time. I was in denial about it. But when I started getting into Rocket League, it was through Johnny Boy streams and watching ones players. And I admired the game mode so much, but I tried it once back when I first started playing, and I was like, nope, I'm never trying this again. I don't understand it. But yeah, now I consider myself a ones main.
Number 2, what do you think is your overall style in Rocket League?
That I can. That's the thing. Like, I came from a background of playing really casually, so my play style was extremely. I would describe it as a monkey play style, where I didn't actually think about what I was doing. I would just do it for the longest time. And my play style, right now, I would say it's more passive than aggressive, because a little bit of, like, relating to what your whole series is about, like, one of my weaknesses is just risk calculating and deciding when to challenge. I'm definitely like the ground more than the air currently, but I'm working on my air plays as well. So.
Question number 3, do you warm up before you play? And if so, how do you do that?
Yes, every single time. But if I'm playing competitive, if I'm playing with friends and I get on to play matches, I don't necessarily. I consider my casual matches part of my warm up, and but if I want to play at my best, I have to, like, what Kevin and I, my fiance Kevin and I, call it, like, recalibrating ourselves, and I go into free play first and foremost. And I've been trying really hard not to touch the ball at first, and just kind of working on my card control. So I'm really just always trying to, like, work on things that I perfected yet, and also just, like, continue to refine the things I already do. I have a strength and accuracy training pack that I do, and I also have air dribbles, wall and ground. I think that one's by Iowa. A lot of people use it.
That's a good one.
That one I do as well, and that was really that's where I learned how to do that corner dribble shot.
Honestly, that encompasses question number 4. It's, do you do trading, and if so, what kind? Packs, workshops, you nail it all, and it's part of your warm-up. I think that's one of the best ways to approach that whole idea of this part of the game. So let's just jump right into question 5.
Sure.
We were fortunate enough to meet at RLCS 7, so
Yeah.
we know a little bit of this answer, but do you ever watch anyone else play Rocket League?
Yeah. So Kevin, my fiance, he introduced me to, like, the esports scene and just content creators in general. I've been a huge fan of, like, Johnny Boy and 1v1 streams, and so I'm pretty caught up on, like, who is on the top 1v1 because of that. I try and keep up with RLCS. I keep up with the RLRS bracket, but I don't really watch the games live. But RLCS, I usually always have it on the big TV in the living room.
Question number 6, you alluded to it a little bit. Big shout out to Johnny Boy, but what got you into Rocket League?
The first time I ever played Rocket League, I had gotten back to my friend's house from just hanging out one day. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, it's just this game. You're a car and you play soccer, essentially. And I was like, okay, cool. So, like, how do you play? And he handed me a controller and queued a match. And he was like, you'll find out. I was like, wait, what? I had so much fun. Eventually, I went off to school. didn't play it for a couple months, and I was like, I gotta build a computer right now because I needed to play this game. I kind of like came upon Rocket League.
Question number 7. You can only choose one, and I think this is going to be interesting from a ones player. Mechanics or positioning?
Part of me wants to say you can't really live with like you can be great at positioning, but there is going to come a point in your game play where you will plateau and you're going to need to level up your mechanics. But it's the same thing with mechanics. Whether or not one or the other will get you farther, I really feel like that depends on the person. But if you want to be the best, obviously you'll have to be very like well-rounded. But I think mechanics would always come first. I think if I had to give you a solid like mechanics or positioning, I would say mechanics. But
barely.
But barely, yeah. Really, it's just so dependent on the person.
Number 8. What is one thing you wish you knew when you started out?
About the content on YouTube, about just the community. I wish I had known more about it when I first started out, because I think it would have helped me be a better player. I wouldn't have had to break so many bad habits that I had made in those times. But yeah, I think that's the one thing.
Question number 9. Neato Queen. What is your biggest weakness in Rocket League?
I have to review this about every week because it's very like fluctuating. I'd say my biggest weakness is taking risks with low boosts. I'm not really mindful of my boost consumption. So my position, taking risks like with low boosts, also has to do with where I am on the field. So I think positioning and just risk taking, those are my 2 biggest weaknesses right now.
And then the flip side of that, what is your biggest strength?
My biggest strength right now is my ability to bounce back. Like I wouldn't say it's anything like that I can do mechanically or anything that I can do. Like I have good defense. I can dribble pretty well, but I think right now people are impressed by my mentality.
Okay.
And they're like, how can you sit here and be okay with getting 9 node? I'm like, because I have respect for the other person and I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. So like, I think right now that's like my biggest strength, and I'm trying to like out project that because I think a lot more people in the community need some confidence in themselves.
Excellent answers to 10 questions. Truly.
Nice.
The next time everyone hears me and you talking, it'll be a few days for us, but for everyone else, it'll be just 1 second, and we'll be looking at some key moments. Are you excited?
Yes, I am.
Part 2, we are back here with Neato Queen. We are about to watch some ones gameplay. Are you excited?
I'm so excited, dude.
All right. Perfect. I gotta be honest, watching the replays really makes me notice how bad at boost management I am. But let's focus on you. Key moment number 1 is actually going to come up relatively quickly. Good for that SwasAye guy. He's going to get an early goal, but from there it might be downhill from him. That's a great kickoff. Moment number 1 coming up here just after this. You're going to relinquish possession. Now, ball cam on, coming down the wall. What's going through your mind in this scenario right now?
Well, as you can tell, it's like classic shadow defensing positioning. So I have to kind of watch where you're going to put the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to put it on your head? Are you going to try? And if you do, then I have to think about what options are coming out of that. Or are you going to let it roll in front of you and maybe try and take control of the ball from there? Depending on how the ball is. If it's rolling in front of you, I have a pretty good chance of being able to challenge, so I would probably turn it around and challenge you. If it was... Oh, okay, sure.
Well, let me play 2 seconds, and I'm going to ask the same question. So right here. Now, you feel like you're in a good position?
I feel like I'm in an okay position. I'm in the way, but...
I'm gonna spoiler this. You are in a good position, definitely. So that's gonna come down. Second part of the question, it's easy enough. Are you happy with how that turned out?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think I made the right decision there. You made a move, and I had to kind of put myself in between you and the goal, so it worked out in my favor for sure.
I would dare say it was nearly, if not perfect, shadow defending, and we're gonna see that kind of theme over and over. And I'm honestly, I get frustrated watching your point of view. I feel like I should have done better.
Nah, dude, it's just that's what I've been working on lately.
Okay, right here, moment number 2. You're up in the air. Car is air rolled. What's your plan of attack right now?
Honestly, I think what was going through my head there was that I had a shot. I mean, right now, as it's paused, I see you're in a pretty good spot to defend it. So, yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I would either take the shot or try and control it down as a fake. But I don't know what happens here. I don't remember.
You were definitely going to put one on target. That opposing one's player is not quick enough to get up and save it.
You had a good position though, so like I think it was just the placement of the shot.
Honestly, it was.
I can't believe I got that.
And
You were
I mean,
close.
second part of the question: would you do anything different about it? Would you try to find a corner? Are you happy with it? Would you bring it
I'm
down?
happy with it because those are shots that I actually don't take that much right now. And if I see that opportunity to maybe, take that shot and place it in a position where the defender can't get to it, which is what I think I was trying to do there. Like then I should do it. I mean, it's a risk, but it worked out in my favor.
Well, it seemed to work well, and we're gonna transition easily into key moment number 3. You see the opponent coming out of the corner. It looks like they have possession of the ball. But right before we get into that, what are you thinking right now? What's going through Neato Queen's mind?
I'm gonna go take all the boosts. I see you in the ball. I see you clearly have possession, and we're both going pretty fast. So, you're using a lot of boosts. I don't have any boosts, so yeah, I go and grab that boost first.
If you can see my face right now, it's a heartbreaker. Me not getting that boost right there is a heartbreaker. And let's play it out for why. I don't have possession anymore. What's going through your mind right now?
You have no boost. So yeah, so that was just like an opportune moment. Okay. I struggle sometimes, like wanting boost so bad, but in that moment where the ball was on the other side, you had the possession. I think I had that. The smarter move was to go for boost first.
Okay, so we're gonna see an excellent little pop there. And normally, the second part of my question is, would you do anything different? Are you happy with it? What I have literally written down is, could this have been executed any better? Serious question.
I don't know. I think I got a pretty good control of the ball afterwards, and I'm happy with how that shot went. I saw you there.
Yeah, and watching your point of view is a heart. It's like you nailed it. You really did. We've seen 3 really great executed moments from you so far, and as much as I would love to tell you that it's going to be all of them, it might be all of them. Let's take a look at this one though. Ball's up in the air. You just saw your opponent fly by you. What are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking I'm taking a pretty risky challenge. But again, I'm keen to take them right now. I think because I'm trying to work more on my accuracy in the air and being more confident with shots like this. So maybe I saw an opportunity to get the goal before you got back, and that was just a miss.
Yeah, I will say, it seems like it was just a miss shot. It was, again, the execution was nearly there. It's just barely off. Is there anything that you feel that you could have done differently in that scenario?
Aside from actually making it?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think I took a pretty good risk, like seeing you out of position and taking my chance at the open net. But people underestimate how easy or how complicated it can be depending on the situation to just hit it in the goal. And I think maybe that's just something I'm working on, trying to get up in the air fast enough, but also still keeping in mind how I have to hit the ball to get in the goal.
Key moment number 5 coming up in just about 2 seconds. Right now, Neato Queen, what's going through your mind?
I have to half flip. But lately, because of I learned how to half flip pretty efficiently, and because I learned it so late, I think that occasionally I still don't have it in my muscle memory correctly. So like I'll attempt my half flip, but lately I've been holding my acceleration down while I'm trying to like air roll, and I don't know, I do something while I'm in game. It doesn't happen in free play when I'm really thinking about it, but in the moment, like I'll heck it the heck up. I think I know what happens after this.
Okay. So I'll admit what I have written down. It's backwards to attempted recovery. So we're gonna see a little bit of a flip right there.
Yeah, I remember that moment. It was that moment where I was like, if I had just hit my half flip correctly, I would have been able to put myself in a good position to shadow or attempt to block, depending on what you decided to do.
Okay. That answers part 2 of the question is what would you have done differently? And the recovery on the half flip, it's such a minuscule thing, but it really does make such a huge difference.
For sure.
And it's to give it a little bit of a throwback to episode 10 of season 1. I recorded with Pluto, and we saw just how great his recovery mechanics were, and you know what? That's why he's a grand champ, and I'm not. We are gonna have this game play out. Anyone who has been around for the first 15 minutes is gonna be well aware of what's gonna happen right here. Oh my goodness! I don't even know what I was thinking, but
just gotta get that fast. Those long goals.
I humble in defeat. You were a phenomenal ones player. So let's ask these 2 important questions. Number 1, would you change anything from the gameplay?
As far as like where I'm at right now, I'd say that's a pretty good game for me.
Okay.
I saw where I made mistakes and where I could have made goals but didn't because I wasn't accurate. But all in all, like that's a pretty solid game for me. It's not something that I would go back and change too much. Just the stuff that I've been working on the past week is just boost management, recovering, which is something that I struggled with, and aerial accuracy. Taking those risky. They're risky for me because it's just not something I'm used to doing. Trying to get if I know I can beat them up in the air and they're not in goal, like why should I be scared to take that shot?
I think
I think it was good.
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Really what they meant was Rocket League begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Exactly. You just gotta you have to be okay with making those mistakes because it just means that you're that much closer to not making it again. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Question number 2 though, overall, are you happy with the decisions you made?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that for my rank, which is now Diamond 2, I don't know what it was before, but this was pretty recent. So.
Congrats. That's way better than most of us, especially me.
And ones, yeah. So I would I'm pretty happy with it. I know that there's just things I have to change habitually to rank up. But I also know that ones is just a fickle beast. It really depends on like the climate of how people are playing. And there are times where I'll have a win streak and I'm really up against people. I'm like, am I really at the rank that I'm at right now? And then I'll come up against somebody that, I will think is totally smurfing. But at the end of the day, like that's the climate of ones. Like you'll get somebody who is just really on point that day or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with how I'm playing right now, although it could always be better.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of being a ones player, Neato Queen, if you're Steam name did not give it away. You are on Twitch and other social medias. I want you to plug
Yeah,
anything and everything because you also hold ones tournaments regularly, right?
I do. Every Tuesday, I host tournaments on my stream. I'm pretty good about that. So, like my schedule's kind of weird, but Tuesdays I always have my 1v1 tournaments. But if you look up at Neato Queen RL on pretty much all social medias, you'll be able to find me. Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So yeah. And then,
Fantastic.
oh yeah, and then on Instagram, I'm just Nita Queen. But I think I also have Nita Queen RL, and it'll just take shit in that one anyway. So it works out.
We're we're gonna find you. All of those are gonna be linked down below in the description. A huge thank you to you.
Thank you. No, this was really fun. I always like talking about Rocket League, so I appreciate it.
You and me both. That's why I'm making nerdy videos about it. And on that note, for everyone else, I'm gonna give you a few final thoughts. We're back for the final thoughts. Let's jump into it. Number one, mentality is so important, especially in ones. Get in that right mentality. Number two, come up with a pregame routine. Even if it's something pretty simple, it can get you warmed up. And that can be the difference between playing terribly off the bat and being ready to score some bangers. Am I right? And then number three, take advantage of Neato's stream if you're interested in ones, if you want to become a better player, and especially those viewer tourneys. She pops off with those. I cannot say enough great things about them, and just her in general. She was a fantastic guest. Big thank you to her. So, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'd appreciate it down below. But other than that, everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day.